ever since Ethiopia opened its market to foreign capital and investment, there's been a number of companies that have rushed from around the continent to go into that particular space. Now, within the East African region, Safaricom was among those companies that went into Ethiopia to do business. Now, Safaricom within East Africa is one of the biggest companies, today valued at about $8 billion US. Now, it is, however, looking at Ethiopia as the future for its growth and development, simply because Ethiopia has a huge market. You're talking about over 100 million people. Now, we'll be bringing you details of that story in our subsequent shows. It is Man and Markets. I'm Charles Ward, your host. Welcome. Foreign direct investments are a critical indicator of the progressiveness of that particular economy. Now, this simply means money that comes outside the confines of a particular economy into its space. Now, to economists, this is a very good indicator that actually the economy is getting certain things right, because money will always move where it's respected, where it's protected, and where, of course, the people behind that money are looking at the possibility, a huge possibility, of making good money out of the money they are putting into that particular area. Now, today, Uganda is trying to attract as many foreign investors as possible in order, first of all, to find employment for its people, and then also grow its tax base. Because what this money does is that it bolsters economic activity through forward and backward linkages sometimes, which in the end translate into better resource mobilizations, including what the taxman is looking for. Now, in this segment, we're trying to look at what more Uganda actually has been able to reap out of FDIs, and why it's important to pay attention to that particular element in economic growth beyond just focus on domestic investors.
Put in place an environment that attracts investors, for which I think Uganda is now the best in the region. Now, it's another kind of situation where you have to balance the scale. So we have tax incentives, for instance, for foreign investors, but also there are other incentives like having to access some of the industrial parks and things like that. Now, trust me, no economy can ever grow on its own. For starters, you need foreign investment. Even developed economies, the biggest economy in the world and the second biggest economy in the world, that is US and China respectively, they still want FDI. The reason, for instance, Trump is putting tariffs is because he wants manufacturing to come to the US. Because he knows once he puts a tariff, any imported product will be a price higher, and that price will be paid by an American. So he puts tariffs to attract investment in the US. So likewise, some of the tax measures you see are in some cases to attract investment into the country. Then once they have come, create an environment within which they can see, okay, if I invest here, I'll get the money. Now, it comes with three things. Number one, technology. You get to have the technologies you couldn't have otherwise had as a country. It grows your manufacturing base, it grows your jobs. Now, the challenge we have is, okay, once they have come, how do we accelerate access to jobs by especially our young people? From universities and tertiary institutions, we have about 700,000 young people who get into the job market every year, and they need jobs. Now, we need to be a little bit critical about this. And the question normally that is asked is, are they employable? Are we training people to get into those jobs that are being created by these industries that we are creating? You will probably find that out. Now, that's one. But also number two, what is the attitude of our young people once they have been employed? Now I'll give you a quick example. You realize that most people, both in private sector and government, who get the money, they tend to invest heavily in real estate. Apartments, malls, arcades. Do you know why? Because it's very hectic to invest in manufacturing. Yet, the 5 billion you've invested in an arcade could actually put up a manufacturing facility, but in an arcade you're employing about 10 people. In a manufacturing facility you employ probably direct employment over 100 people. But the reason they are not putting a lot of money in manufacturing is the question of trust. Along the entire value chain, whether it's through transportation of raw materials or finished products or stores or handling of equipment, someone tries to steal something. The get rich quickly mentality of our people. So we also need a change of attitude if you are to attract, especially actually Ugandans, to invest in manufacturing. So even when, and this information is known to private sector players, including the foreign investors who come in. So if they know Ugandans still, even when you have a skill set, they are likely not to put you in a sensitive position where they know you have access to what to steal. So we need a change of attitude. But also, we need to, especially on the question of incentives for foreign investors, we need to do a cost-effective analysis, an understanding of, okay, we've given so and so incentives. Have they delivered as to what was promised? If yes, good. If not, why not? And then what needs to be done? Not just giving incentive after incentive after incentive, and the status quo still remains until they close shop and go back. The question you had asked me earlier. So we need to always keep a watch, keep watching them, and make sure that they are delivering to their promise. And if they are not, we support them too if need be, or if it's deliberate, then we revise the model with which we work with them.
We've already seen how important it is to have and attract foreign direct investments or foreign money. Now, it is also equally important to support domestic business people or domestic investors, people that actually are born within a country and are producing within the country. Now, for Uganda's case, it's even critical or important given the fact that a number of our business people tend to collapse much earlier in their business days. In fact, it's clear that a few businesses only manage to celebrate their second birthday in operation. Now, in this segment, we're trying to find out what they need to do, anchoring on those that have been able to scale the challenge and stay in business longer.
We have been able to discuss this at macro level, national level. They have told us that we must strive to attain growth tenfold from now. What does it mean? I have had discussions and I keep complaining that I am the complainant. You are taking us tenfold growth. How many of us here do know exactly what that means? Tenfold growth means what? They are here, the government people, they will explain. But my little knowledge I have picked, this is what it would mean. We are here celebrating Numa in the municipality. Is it a municipality or still a town council? In the municipality. Shema, as a district, how many, not constituencies, the administrative units, the sub-counties, how many do we have? 15. This is what it means. That we must have 15 of Numas in every sub-county. But the Numa in itself must grow tenfold. He didn't tell how much he has. But if I say he has capital of 3 billion, it means we must have 3 billion times 10 for Numa. But again, have the other 15 also be at Numa's what? Level. That is how I can quickly put it for my mother. Now, if we are going to be in Africa and celebrate the continental market, us as Uganda, how do we position ourselves in that equation? Is the second thing I wanted to talk about in respect. Numa started, therefore, so what? Secondly, financials. I am very happy Pride is here. I am very happy Stanbic is here. Thank you for supporting Numa. But we are asking, can we start to have products that are designed from the Numa experience? For the time you've worked with Numa, like any other, what have you learned, and you start to design products that are speaking to these people? Because most of the products, do you know how they are copied? I stand to be challenged. Stanchart, Stanbic, which is South Africa, Stanchart is UK, then CTI is America. They come and put products. Then even these other local banks also copy those products. Now, you go to this, all the banks, products are the same. Because they copy from each other. We are pleading with you. Help us learn lessons of what has worked, use those to design our local products.
So to us, Numa is not just a company. It is a living testimony of Uganda's ingenuity, relentless resilience, and the sheer power of dreaming big, right here at home. Mr. Masiko is our Warren Buffett, isn't it? Most of us, when we do business education, you hear about Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, but we have them right here at home. So let's give them a big hand. As one of our most treasured clients, we have the immense honor of witnessing Numa Feed's extraordinary journey, working alongside them over the years, and we want to tell you it's such a story. Those of you who listen to Mr. Masiko's story, you agree with me, it is such a big story. We have had the opportunity of having a front row seat as Numa walks this journey, and the number of partners who have participated, and we are very privileged to be part of them. There are generally three lessons I just wanted to quickly talk about from the Numa story. The first one is the unstoppable power of starting small. The unstoppable power of starting small. 30 years ago, Numa began not with a bang, but with a quiet, powerful whisper. You saw the makeshift idea where Numa started. But there was passion, there was dedication. At Enterprise Uganda, we constantly tell aspiring entrepreneurs that every achievement begins with a courageous first step, however modest it may be. Numa is the perfect embodiment of this truth, born out of adversity of the founder who lost a job in the retrenchment process. Even today, there are retrenchment processes happening. Only the word has changed. Now they are called restructuring, they are called adjustments, but retrenchment continues. But he had lost his job and he started out as he shared with us. Mr. Masiko decided to start processing in a makeshift facility. But today we celebrate him. Though his start was humble, we see uncompromising quality and a deep commitment to serving his community. 30 years later, and you look around, Numa is a household name.
The message I'm giving to all Ugandan entrepreneurs is that the investment climate in Uganda is getting better and will get best in the near future as long as we collaboratively coordinate to ensure that there are no delays in any process of investing in Uganda, but also to cooperate and ensure that there is no isolation in any process of an entrepreneur. The ones that are still starting, the young startups, we are encouraging them to learn from the successful ones like Numa here, a great example of someone who started with a capital of 140,000 shillings. Now he is a billionaire, not just in cash, but in installations, looking at Numa's installations all around, and the equipment, first-class equipment, coming from a motor and using handmade, I would even call them some makeshift, because he started in makeshift shelters. Now he's in first-class buildings with first-class equipment from the world's known manufacturers. So it is our work to ensure that we guide investors to those that are still small, to learn from those that are already successful, but also the ones that are successful to encourage the smaller ones, for us to work with the government and other agencies and take Uganda forward together.